camera things. Hey guys, so tonight we're fixing a job that someone apparently did half it for me. So a friend asked me to come around, not this friend, asked me to come around and do his cambelt kit for him. Upon arriving, he had taken the cambelt off but left the bottom pulley on. Everything was 180 degrees out, so that was fun of trying to make sure get everything off and line everything back up without anything damaging. It's a supplied parts job, so he supplied a water pump but hasn't supplied a gasket for it, but he did supply a nice tube of RTV, so we're just going to do, by the time I smear that out, it's going to be a nice thin layer. Barrows is just cleaning up the surface bit for us. Then we're going to get on to putting a cambelt back together on us while we have a couple of wood stocks. So after I said that, Nathan's found a water pump gasket, which is fine. I mean, we've got a nice thin smear on there. It doesn't really look like it on the video, but yes, it's thin smear, so we'll use that to hold the gasket on there as well. I mean, preventative maintenance, a little nice light smear never hurt anyone, especially when you're running through a cooling system and stuff. Obviously not enough to fall into the cooling system. So yeah, we'll get this on, get the water pump on, and then put the new tensioner on, put a new idler on, put the cambelt on, and then we're fitting a Franklin Engineering trigger kit as well. So I'll get Mr. Barrows over there to do a little bit of filming while I hold things. We'll do a little bit of filming while I install things. So with having two people here, it's going to be easier than one to get better filming in. So this is a genuine Det Neo motor. So got all the bolts started. So just get them all on, and that's, you know, a nice new water pump fitted. I'm not a huge fan of using RTV, but the fact that at the start we didn't think we had a gasket, RTV was the way to go. But, I mean, a light smear doesn't hurt. As you can see, if you come in close, there's not really... Yeah, there's a little bit of smear, but there's not enough that it's blowing out the sides of it. So, you don't need a whole heap. You literally just need a thin smear, which is just a preventative thing, really. And then you just go around and... Fun part about doing a part supplied motor. Basically, I arrived to kind of like this, except still having this pulley on, the bottom cover sort of half on. Water pump was off, and all those unspun. But this is sort of what we've got. Here's our parts reference. Oh, probably a bit dark. I don't know. Here's our parts reference. Thanks, Zach. So we are fitting this Franklin kit as well. I'll refit all the alternator and everything for him too. But we have his old block here, so we are going to steal that bolt off his old block. So we got this bolt out of the other motor. Eee. These do have a correct torque sequence. I won't be using it. I'm just going to be doing the old on the ratchet. So these here have been known to snap if you over tighten them. So that's not something we will be doing. So now that one's on, what we'll do is we'll fit the cambelt on. My personal way of doing it is I fit the cambelt and then I sit the tensioner on after. Some people might put the tensioner on first and then put the cambelt. You know, there's sort of 6 1 half an hour the other, what either person prefers to do. So these cambelts here, if you don't drop them, this is my second take trying to do that because I filmed it around the wrong way first, but that's usually your crank one. they have an arrow of what way the belt likes to face, and then these two are your two cam ones. So your dotted one is the one that goes on your crank, and basically you can line that up with, I don't know if you can see it, I'll try and focus on it, that dot there, that dot there, and that dot on there. So it doesn't matter, we're not using that as a reference at the moment anyway. I'll use the bottom one as a reference just for a giggle. But we also want to make sure that, do I have that? Yeah, that's aiming the right way. If I can get it to stop trying to jump one. This new one didn't come with the spring on it. So let's grab our spring off our old one. Fit our spring to there. Now we'll start that sitting on there, but this has decided to jump again, so push that up, push that over there. Alright, so after we verbal with our tensioner, let's go through and timing mark, let's push that back a wee bit, see timing mark there, and then you can see this timing mark here lines up with that little there. So that cam belt there is timed up, so now what we do is we spin the motor a couple of times and then we apply our tension. Alright, so spin that motor around. How good we know we still have compression. Right, lots of it. So,
You want to take those plugs out?
nah, I was going to do
Put some muscle in it.
Going to do it so the cams have had 720 degrees of rotation. And then we just want to go back a little bit here. So that one's still lined up. Right, take this again. So we've spun the motor twice. Still lined up. Still lined up. Still lined up. So the motor is timed, and so now I just gotta get our tension on there properly, and then we'll give it another couple of quick spins, then we can start adding on accessories. So it's just the old 5-pump Allen key goes in there. And then you just pull that round a wee bit. You don't want to pull too much, like you don't want to yank from the cam or anything, but just a little bit of tension there. Have the ratchet going the right way. Then you just tighten that up. Once again, don't tighten too much. Seen them snap if the cam belt's too tight. It pulls pressure that way, and they do snap this tensioner off. I have seen it happen. It has not happened to a motor I've done yet. Gotta go back and I'm just gonna stick.
So what are these ones? Oh yeah.
They're just the nice new studs that come with those. It's really nice G&B to
Look at that. Fresh.
So just a reminder, this Gates belt, that mark there was good. It won't be lightened up to the mark now, but that mark there was good on the belt. The mark for that cam was there, and the mark for that cam was there. which I've seen happen with the Gates belts. It happens with their Subaru belts as well. I've seen it quite a bit on EJ20s and EJ25s where none of those lines actually line up. So, in all honesty, when you're looking at going like something this, Zach's doing this because he's bought a clear cover. He's bought a clear cover to go with his stock cam gears. But if you're not always seeing it, always go genuine. If it's a Nissan, go genuine Nissan. If it's a Subaru, go genuine Subaru. If it's a Mitsubishi, go genuine Mitsubishi. It always just makes that a little bit easier. Right, so now we're up to, we can stick some covers on. Stick an oil painter on, stick a trigger kit on. Putting the bottom cover back on now. Should have got this painted, Zach. Oh, thinking ahead, nope. The neo ones are so much tidier, the plastic ones.
You reckon?
But the metal ones are like ripped and shit through there, whereas the neo ones are nice. And I do like how he went out and bought a genuine Neo. So. And here is one I really want to show me finding. So we can bolt our bottom cover back on now. This plate here. Always have this lip out. The first ever car I did, keep in mind I was 16 when I did it, I had that round the wrong way, and they chew the cam belts. It was the first ever cam belt I did, I was 16, cut me some slack.
How many valves did you bend?
None. It didn't snap. We got it beforehand. We started up and noticed it was making a terrible noise. Pulled this back off and nice. I'll just talk that back up. Yeah. Right, bottom cover's on. The tension is on. They're going to put the top cover on. Well, actually what we'll do is we'll take these out and fit our trigger kit first. So we've just had to tap in that locator there, just because the Franklin Engineering trigger kit has that on there. Souls man. I just farted and it's real bad. So the Franklin Engineering kit has that, the NZ wiring one. NZ wiring, don't think it had that. I think it just had the holes so you line up in the same spot. But so that goes on there like that. We'll bolt that back on. Did that come with new bolts? Right, so they're all tight now. Let's put the top cover back on and then put the exterior side of the trigger kit on, which is there. Personally, I love Franklin Engineering's work. I've got quite a bit of Franklin stuff on this Pharaoh, but I just like the flat placement look and the no adjustment capability of the NZ wiring trigger kit. Just with that there, with the NZ wiring one, which doesn't allow for movement, it's just nicer where if you have to switch a head over or switch a cam over or something, then you don't have the chance of setting up your timing incorrectly again. It's always going to be right. Right, so I've just set that cover on one bolt. Now let's grab our Franklin kit. Kick the torque wrench. And get Mr. Nathan here, who's very sore, to hold the camera for a minute. He just bent his finger down. Can you hold that for a minute?
Look at that.
So that is, we'll tack that around there just to. But that is it. That is a fresh water pump and cam belt kit and a fresh Franklin Engineering trigger kit fitted. So I'm just going to torque up the bottom pulley now. Zach's probably going to go ahead and pull this back off because I think he wants to clean that cam gear. So not my prerogative. I'm just here to test fit shit. So that's all fitted up, and that'll be it for tonight. Thanks, guys.